Hello, Strategy Gaming fans around the globe. This is Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today we are going to do episode 2 of the day in War of the East. War of the East. Well, it is the War of the East. It's War in the East as well. At least that's the title of the game. Uh, I'm really getting into this one now, and so, I don't know. We could do 7 episodes today if I had the time. But we are moving Army Group North. We've already moved. Let's just jump right into it. We've already moved the 18th Army, and as you see, we've taken Modul's Corps and gotten almost to Peskov. We have not yet moved 4th Panzer, which, looking at the map, we're going to have to make a decision there. We have not moved the 16th Army yet. Now, this is just turn 3, so this is week 3 of the war. We're making very good progress, but we do need to start getting some more encirclements. We need to move past Peskov up here in the north. There are things that we need to get accomplished up here because I've really made our number one war goal getting up to Leningrad and taking Leningrad. And so, you see the 16th is back here behind the Daugava. That's fine. It took us 2 turns, but we've moved a long ways up here. Now we're at the river. We need to hop across. So, what are we trying to do here? Well, I've gone back and forth, and I think we need to fly some more recon and we need to move our motorized units around a little bit and try to find a weakness. Now, you do not want to take your motorized units and try to take Peskov with those, especially your panzers. Now, just a motorized division, I fight with my motorized divisions. I use my panzers more like cavalry, at least at the start. Eventually, they are going to have to stand and fight at some point, but no reason to be throwing away tanks early on. And so, what are we going to do here? Well, I think we're going to run a few more recon missions. Now, the computer ran a lot of recon missions. We did an AI recon mission up here. We just hit A and it did it automatically. But let's go look around ourselves because I want to look through this corridor here and figure out if there's a weakness anywhere that we can push our. Now we see a gap right here, but this is also the worst terrain in the north if you look at it. We've got swamp, we've got forest, and we've got 2 rivers. So if we if we don't have to cross there, that'd be nice. Now, one thing that I'm always looking for are, enemy units like this that are trapped to the west of the river. Okay, so we've got 3 or 4 here. We've got 3 here that have not gotten back across the river, and so they're very vulnerable to our attacks. Now, attacking across the river into the swamp here is bad for us. I mean, that gives us every bad modifier that you can get in the game almost, right? So we're going to try to avoid that at all costs. Places like here, I would love to cross here, but who knows what kind of the AI in this game is very good. Could we maybe punch a hole here? Now, right here, this is forest. It's not swamp. If we hold over it, it's light wood. I say forest. It's light woods. It's trees of some sort. It's light woods. Okay, so that's not quite as bad, but I mean, taking panzers into woods, into you know, swamp, there's swamp, and across 2 rivers doesn't seem very appealing. If we don't get what we want here, we're going to sit for a turn for the most part. Now, we would try to, knock out some of these units that are still west of the river, but we may sit and wait for the infantry to get all the way up here and punch a hole for us. All right. And so that's how I play the game anyway, is I'm not going to try to punch holes through with my panzers. I'm going to wait, let the infantry punch a hole through. But as you see here, it is ripe, absolutely ripe for an encirclement if we can get back behind here, or if we could get here and up and around here, because the Soviets are rushing here to try to defend the Velikaya River coming out of Lake Peskov. They're trying to defend this, which is smart. This is what you should do as a defender, right? Get right behind the river and try to defend it there. So we need to try to get around them somehow, and it's just a matter of how are we going to do that. So let's run a little more recon and see what we can figure out here. So we're seeing more units as we run one up here by Peskov. Let's do it right on this unit. Maybe we can get a more detection of what we're facing coming into Peskov. Okay, couldn't tell a whole lot there. I'm just going to do it all the way down this corridor and try to figure out what's back here or what's around here. There could be more troops back here. We just don't really know. Let's see if there's, doesn't look like it, but you're not always going to get perfect information even when you run recon. Now, I am curious about this gap because we could get across here maybe. Now, it'd probably take us 2 turns, but once we get to here, we can turn north, although they could put units here as well, and we don't want to get trapped back here. All right, so there is a unit there. You can see it underneath. Yep, so there is something there. Now, it doesn't look like these units are very strong on the west side of the river. So, we definitely want to try to take those out no matter what else we do here. We do have them a little on the ropes right here, but we don't really know the strength. Until we get a unit touching, these units, we don't really know their full strength. We'll fly into Vitebsk one more time. Some people don't run this much recon. I like to. I like to know we've got double fog of war on. We've not only got fog of war just in general, we also have what in this game is called movement fog of war. And so, you know, if we click on a unit, in some games when you click on it, well, let's go to movement. I think I've run enough now. In some games when you click on a unit and you're going to move it, you could you could see all the way back into here, but as it is, this is what the movement fog of war when you select this is. You really can only see into the next hex, or at least only one hex contiguous or deep into Soviet territory. So just keep that in mind. Did I run enough of these? Probably. Let's run one back to Veli Luki. Mm, I guess it's Veliki Luki, I should say. Let's run one more here. I'd love to know what the strength of some of this looks very weak right here as we see it now, but I guarantee you if the Soviets have it parked here, it's not that weak. I'll run one more to Peskov. Okay, we see one more up here. Now, as you can see, you can't get over this zone here. These are impassable hexes to go this way. I mean, even if we did want to go into this swamp, we really couldn't do it even if we wanted to. Um, All right. I think that's enough for that. You may say, wow, that was a lot of recon. And it really was. Now, let's go back here and look at the 16th Army. As I always say, I like to move from back to front. Now, we took those reinforcements and we decided to move them north. We have more reinforcements coming, but it's going to take a while before they get here. So for the 16th, we really need, you can see where the 18th is setting up here. For the 16th, we really need to cover the front from this crossing, this town here, which is Polotsk, from here kind of all the way up to here. This is going to be the front for the 16th at first, and then we're going to start trying to punch up this way. Although we may move some of these east as well and take Veliki Luki and then move to the west here of this swamp. It's not the best terrain up here, as you can see. You can kind of see the corridor where we would want our panzers to go. All right, so let's start with this unit here. Let's go Shift Z so we can see. Now these are the other two or the other two divisions in this core. They light up as well. Now this guy you would think would be able to get the furthest, and so let's try to take him as far north as we can. It looks like we can get all the way to here, which kind of covers this, right? As long as you get these within 2 hexes of each other, the zone of control should be strong enough that the Soviets can't punch through on it. And so later on, that'll become really important. As you know, assuming we go on the defense at some point in this game, it becomes very, very important, that you maintain that zone of control. But they don't have to be right next to each other. It would take a lot of movement points to move even into this hex, and that's about as far as the Soviet Union unit could get. So let's go here. All right. We displaced that unit, which is good. I was kind of wondering what that unit was doing out here. It was something that we could displace, so that's out of here, so that's good. Now these two units, now they should be the other units we can get up here, the furthest north. And it looks like, if we wanted to take them both all the way up there, we could. But I like to space them kind of every 2 hexes here. Um, let's take the most powerful one, the 30 combat value, and kind of put it in the middle of the other two. So we'll run this right up here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll put him there. And now this guy can go here. All right, so as you see, I've got them kind of spaced 2 apart, but that should create strong enough zones of control. Look, if the Soviet Union wants to run the gauntlet and try to get through here, by all means, go for it. There's nothing much they could do here except try to cut supply lines. Now, we do have a supply, our railroad unit is here. So next turn, our railhead would be here. It's moving back this way, or I guess it goes here to here, right? There's, we'll still be able to get supply to everything. So we're not even worried about that. They would have to cut they would have to get in between here and in between here to keep us from getting supply from back here. So it's fine. Even this unit can't do much. It could go out into our territory. It could even go get on this rail line, but it's totally isolated. I doubt it's even got any fuel left. The minute we get to that unit, it should surrender. I can't imagine that it wouldn't. Okay, so we've moved those three infantry units, all right, and we're kind of building our front here in the north. Now, what do we have kind of further back? Well, actually, let's go ahead and move um, the headquarters unit up here. We'll just maybe go put it right there. Now, how far out is it? All right, we're going to have to move the 16th Army up to make sure that their corps are in command range. All right, that looks good. It's in good command. Everything looks good there. Now that we're up here, maybe we take a shot at this guy here. He's just a 2 defense, and we should have really good detection level on him. Um, yeah, we've got a 10 detection level on him. You can see down there at the bottom. And so let's go ahead and take a shot at him. We didn't quite get enough. We still won the battle, quote unquote, but I would have rather knocked him about. I think we'll take one of these other ones and put it right here. Maybe take another shot at him. We can't take a shot there, and we can't take a shot there with a hasty attack. We lost 40 men or so, but that was worth it. Now these two units here are kind of the furthest back. How far can we get? Okay, we can get this guy all the way here. This guy can go no further than here. Okay. Now, what about these three? They can go, all right, they can go up here and form kind of this part of our front. All right, now what about these units? What do we have up here? Got a couple of air units. Okay, they can get a little farther. So let's move them in here. I almost want to move them up here, to be honest with you, but how far can we get this guy? Yeah, not that far, really. Okay, let's go back to this guy. Let's move him here. I think we can take a shot at somebody with the hasty attack eventually with him. We'll get to that in a minute, though. It's not great. Maybe move him a little further north. Let's just put him right there. Okay. Now we got another one we can put there. All right. And we've got one more. And he can come. Wow. He could come all the way here. But actually, I want these guys to be a little further north. Let's just put him there for now. And we'll move the headquarters up here. All right. Move that up there. And you start to see the front forming a little bit with the infantry units at least. All right, let's take another shot at one of these two defensive guys. Let's hit him. Oh gosh, we just missed 2-1 odds, so we didn't knock him back. That's all right. That's what we've got these motorized units out here for. Okay, now then, let's start moving these guys out. Kind of put him there. And we're going to put this guy there. That looks good. All right, now we'll get this guy across. We'll get this command core headquarters across the river. Now let's get these guys. We'll have these guys kind of be our southern flank of this army. How far can he go? Only to about right there. Okay. And we'll take him. We'll put him all the way up there. Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit of detection on these guys. All right, I think that pretty much does it for the 16th Army. I mean, we moved them up. We've got them going where we want them to go. He's going to have to keep moving out here to get them in command. There we go. Let's see if we can take shots at anyone with any of our infantry. I don't think we really have many points left. He could move back or to the side. So could he. They can't really move forward. Yeah, okay, so it's kind of a jagged front here a little bit. It will start to form itself a little bit better um, as we go on, but this is a good spread, I guess you would say here. Um, Now, before we move, well, let's move our 16th Army headquarters up. We're getting it close to the railhead. As a matter of fact, we can even back it up more towards the railhead if we want. We've got our Louflot here, nothing to really do with that. We've got nothing back here, just making sure we've pretty much moved all of that. Okay. All right, now we're going to go ahead and move our motorized units. But before we do that, let's get some support units down into them. And so let's do some howitzers. Motorized flak, We could even do some mixed flak. Let's do a mixed flak a little bit. We'll do Panzer joggers in case we do run it. Let's do some Stugs. That's all going to von Manstein. All right. And then our guy up here will kind of do the same. We'll assign because we are going to try to punch through maybe, or at least clear out everything west of the river. So there is going to be, we are going to do some battling here. We'll do some guns, some mixed. Shit, let's even do a heavy warfer. I don't know. Let's throw it all in there. Um, okay. Now, what do we have west of the river? We've got this unit, this unit. You can see the river kind of run up here. It's winding. We've got this unit here. So why don't we take one step forward, and I think we can do a hasty look at all of the look at all the sport units we get there. 23.5 to 1. We'll blow him back to Peskov. He was routed. Okay. Now then, let's see what we actually have up here. Okay, it's a defensive 17. Let's back off on that. We're not going to take that attack. Now let's move this guy forward a little bit. That's a 15. That's very strong. And it's 11 across the river. But we do have this unit. He is just out of range, unfortunately. All right, so we'll hit there. All right, that unit routed as well. Now you're starting to see there could potentially be a gap right here where I was talking about swamp, two rivers, and woods. Exactly where you want to take your panzers, right? Um, so now it's really a question, do we want to try to exploit this right here? We don't really know what that is. Let's try to run one more recon mission over it and see if we can get any more information. Yeah, nothing more. What's the detection level? I don't think you can go above a 4, right? Well, it's still only a 1. Um, oh, decisions, decisions. I'm just afraid about getting stuck here. I kind of want to wait for the infantry to get here next turn. I hate to sit back this early in the game, but I just think it might be the wise decision. Um, all right, so this is all of Reinhardt's force. They're all up here to the north. I do think I'm going to just let them sit this turn. Get some more fuel. How are they doing? 52%, 57%, 0%. Okay. Um, Totenkopf is at 18%. So they definitely could use. Let's see if we can even get anything in here. No, we don't. There's nothing. Now, level bombers are generally your transport aircraft. And it has to be the first mission of the turn. And so next turn is when I was planning on dropping some supply in there. But I think all of our level bombers have probably pretty much run missions this time. Uh, the only other thing we could do is go up here and maybe take a shot at this west of the river. 25 to 15. I don't really like those odds. I think it would be doing something to do something. So let's go down here to von Manstein's guys and let's see what we can kind of clear out west of this river. We've got a tank division here, it appears. And let's go ahead and hit them. You see all of the support units that come in there. And of course, we routed that out very nicely. And all right, we've got that infantry division underneath. Let's hit this unit. Again, that should route. And of course, it retreats. Now, it heard me say that, obviously. Let's move forward into this town. Let's bring the panzers up and around. I'm going to move them up here actually, and I'll move von Manstein up here as well. And then I'm going to move the Panzer headquarters. Am I going to move them? I don't think I am. Everything's still in command here except for the air unit, which maybe I'll bring, let's say, right there. Yeah, let's bring those air. Well, I don't want that one to go. Let's take that back up there. We're late enough in the turn. I'm not going to curse that I just did that. Okay, now we've got them both here. We've got this unit west of the river. Yeah, it looks west of the river to me. Mm, I'm going to take the panzers out. I'm going to try to attack them, and if it's bad odds, they'll just scout, and that's exactly what they did. They took more losses than we did. I wanted to see how strong they were. 23,000 strong. I mean, gosh darn it, that's a lot of men. Just 23,000 men in there, and it's only 8 defensive. It just goes to show you, uh, you know, the relative strengths of the two forces. Um, I'm gonna hit that one more time with him. We got 2-to-1 odds, exactly 2-to-1 odds, and got him to retreat. Wow, that's incredible. With 13,000 men, um, we're really starting to open up something here. I almost feel like it's a trap. It's like Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. Uh, let's click off that. Let's back our Panzer division off. Let's leave him here, and I think that's going to be good for the north. Like I said, I hate to take a turn and not move our motorized units uh, forward, but I also think they're not going to get very far forward anyway. We need the infantry to come punch a gap for us, and then once the infantry does that, we'll go flying through and hopefully trap all of this and maybe all of this. But I think patience is warranted for now. For now. Um, all right, let's see where all of his air units are. We are actually going to move some of these right now. What do we have back here? We don't have much. Let's move these air units up just a little bit, not far. And we'll get them all right up here. We'll get their headquarters. We'll just stick them right there. We can move this army's recon headquarters right up here. Did I really want to do that? Yeah, he's still in command. Um, where did my where did I put the Panzer headquarters? It's still there. 6 of 15. Okay, that's good enough. Just making sure we've taken every bit of opportunity on the west side of this river. I think we have. Looks like it to me. Looks like it to me. I think that's fine. I think we're in good shape. Let's back up a little bit. Now you see this absolute massive humanity here at Vitebsk, and just north of Vitebsk into Veliki Luki. Um, it's almost impossible to push through here, which leads me to the next thing we're actually going to do. But I think we're good. I think we're good. I think Modal's group will get here and help us take Peskov. Now we may need one of our motorized units to help do that. Of course, the Soviets are going to be pushing everything they can in here. They know how important Peskov is, but I think now that the 16th is here, we could punch a gap down here a little further south as well, and then encircle all of these units. You know, as you see, everything's lining up on the rivers. Because, like I said, the AI is good at this. That's what you should do as a defender, not allow the Germans to get across the river without taking severe losses. And that's what they're doing. Toan says, I'm not sure whether you've already set plans for your panzers in Army Group Center, but could you possibly try a pincher at Peskov and west of Luki using the panzers there if Army Group North can reach Peskov from their position? Yeah, that is something, that's definitely I've been contemplating, right? You push kind of here to Veliki Luki, and that gets you behind. Now, the Soviets are going to defend this like mad. This Vitebsk Smolensk corridor here, they're going to defend that like crazy, right? So if you can get through to here, you're going to get behind them. Now the problem is you've got all of this forest area, whether it be light or heavy. You've got a bunch of swamp in here. It's very bad terrain. And so I do have a plan with what I want to do with Army Group Center, with the panzers there. And it's really going to be forming a spear, um, and we're going to go right at them. And so we're right down here. It looks like an absolute ton of units here. But just having looked at previous turns, a lot of these units are retreating units from back to the west. And we're going to try to form a spear not only with our third panzers, but second panzers. And we're going to try to blast right through here. And if we can do that, then we can turn north to Veliki Luki and turn south and meet up with our panzers that we're also going to try to get across down here. Now, best I can tell, there's not a whole lot down here. I mean, we ran all kinds of recon that was in and around here. Now, I'm not saying there aren't a few more units around, but I think that this is lightly defended. And oftentimes, one advantage you can have as the Germans is that you're so much more mobile early in the war that you can feint one way, or let's describe it this way. You can say in your head, I'm going to go this way, and then all of a sudden say, look at all this, look at all the swamp. Let's go this way, which is exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to take this motorized unit. I'm going to take all of these panzers and motorized units, and we're going to go right here south of Vitebsk. This is really the best terrain we're going to get right in this area as we start to push them back. And then I'm going to take this bit of second panzer and blow through here as well, form a spear to just try to drive through all of this right here. I think it's our best way through. And the infantry's a little ways back. I think these are a lot of understrength units, and let's run just the slightest bit of recon out here and see if we can get any better idea. I mean, you've got a lot of air units. You've got that back here as well. If we can push right through here, you can see we've got like a bunch of softness here in the back. It's air units, it's headquarters. So it looks like a lot of units, but they're of varying strength, of course. Um, what I think I'm gonna do now that we've moved through, Army Group North, really kind of everything that I want to do. Look at the air units again. That looks fine. We've moved our railroad unit. I think we've moved all of these guys as much as we can. Of course, the Panzers sit, but that's fine. We'll give them one turn. They'll refuel. They've gone a long way in 2 weeks, this being the third week. So we'll let them sit here. As a matter of fact, I'll just back him up one more. I don't really want, the Panzers to be taking any counterattacks or something like that. So I'll set this back from their zone of control. I could probably do that with this unit too, but I'm a little less concerned when it comes to the motorized units. Um, yeah, we've driven everything pretty much out of the west of this river. Um, the Sin Yaya, I just wanted to say that again. I think we're okay up there. And so the next thing we're going to be looking at is Army Group Center. Now, we've got a lot less plains to worry about, at least right up here in the north. But we got to start thinking about where we want to send some of this stuff. Um, so we've already moved the planes forward. They should all be up here now, and we've got a good amount. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's a lot of planes ready to help. But there might not really be very many attacks. One thing, so let's start. This is the furthest north unit, I believe. We've got security units. We've got the 3rd Panzer Air Base, which I would like to move a little further forward. We cannot forget to move the railroad. There's no planes here, and we've got a lot of the Ninth Army back here. But let's move the furthest north one, and let's take him up here north of the river. All right. And I'm tempted. Tell you what, I'm tempted. This is a routed unit. I've got a unit. It's hard to tell what exactly we've got here. It shows us a 1 defense. I know that's not accurate, but we do have a routed unit here, but it looks like you see the little green there. We do have a Soviet Union that's in good supply there. And so let's wait a second. All right, so this unit's part of his core. Let's get him moving up this way as well. We'll put these two kind of north of the river where they attach up a little bit with the 16th before the 16th turns north. Now we've got some really crappy generals I know in the ninth, although Ruoff is not one of them. He's actually pretty good. He's going to have to get up here far enough to keep this guy across the river in command. Yeah, he did it. Okay. I was afraid that might be too many movement points up there, but this looks good. Okay, so we always want to move your infantry first. Let's go ahead and let's give him a little bit of support. Let's give him a few support. This is going to be a hasty attack, so and he has moved this turn, so he's probably not going to send anything down there, or even can. It's kind of unclear to me in the rule book. It says they're less likely. I think it's really impossible if a headquarters is moved and you do a hasty attack to get a support unit down there. Look at all of the support units. That's what happens when you start moving them back. they You got a lot of choices when you're going to go. Now, let's look. This will be interesting to me to see if he gets any support units from his core headquarters. So we're going to hit that. The population evacuated. We're going to pause. Yeah, we did not get anything. The Flieger Corps is going to help us out. We did send some planes. We did get better than 2-to-1 odds. So 2-to-1 is the key always. The Soviets will never fall back unless it's over 2-to-1. If it's over 2-to-1, there's a dice roll of whether they retreat, rout, shatter. You've really got to be like 25-to-1 to shatter them. But let's see. Oh, we routed them out. Excellent. That's fantastic. Now I really want to get a unit up there, but I'm dead set on moving my motorized down. Look at this little corridor that might be forming here. We know we've got routed units here. We don't really know what this is. Let's run another recon. Look at me. Let's run another recon mission. Can we tell what this is up here? We've got some headquarters units. it could get really soft there if we could get into this I call it an underbelly. It's really what is this? The head of this whole phalanx here. Um, all right. I want to stick with the plan though. And let's go back. What all do we have here? Oh yeah, we have the security units. Who's got enough to go to Minsk? Who's in the center? We don't want to move this unit. We actually want to move this unit. The reason I'm doing that is I wanted to go ahead and do the railroad. So let's move him down the road a little bit. Now then, he's 2350. We've got a city back here, right? Vilnius? Yeah. Let's go ahead and move him, maybe move him down towards Minsk. I just don't know. For now, I'm going to move him there. Okay, and I'm going to move this security unit back to Vilnius because he's the right size for Vilnius. All right, and let's get our railroad going. So let's repair one, repair another. We just clicked south of the Baltic rail zone, so that costs 3 points. Now let's go up to Vilnius. Now it's 1 point again. Click off those two. Now you see you're going to get out of the Baltic rail zone as soon as you get to Vilnius. Um, Click there. Now I like to do both spurs of this, so let's just in case one gets damaged. There are two spurs coming out of Vilnius, one that goes south and then one that heads east. So do this one second, and then we'll head this one southeast down to Minsk. Um, okay, good, good. I always like to get the railroad taken care of. It causes me anxiety. Um, Now we can just kind of go back to front. What all do we have back here? Okay, we've got security units. We'll deal with those later. And we're going to be bringing these kind of northeast. The Ninth Army, I'll show you here in a minute. We'll back up. The way I usually take the Ninth Army is the Ninth Army is going to push, here through here. The Fourth Army, when it arrives, is kind of I guess this is kind of the center line to me a little bit, maybe even a little further north. The Fourth Army goes through here. Now, don't forget, we've got the Second Army back here that just activated, and they could be your southern infantry group that comes through here. So you can push the fourth, the dark blue, a little farther north. And you also have this infantry corps of the 2nd Panzer Division. So just always keep that. Um, Towen says, can you not manually assign supports to the division immediately? Uh, you can. You have to go to the division and attach them there. Now, I don't ever do that generally unless it's with my panzers. I put flak units with them or flak support units because I like to give them a little anti-aircraft. But if you attach them at the division level, it does have an advantage, which is they are always committed to battle if they are attached to the division. The problem is it's not flexible really because they you know you can't pull them to other divisions. So if it's attached to a division, you can't at another division say, hey, I need more support and pull it over from them. They have to be at the core level or above to do that. So I always push them down. I always have them being pulled up every logistics phase, and then I push them down where I need them or where I think I need them. It just that's how I do it. You don't have to do it that way. So what you're basically talking about is could we go to I'll just pick this division. Um, and let's right click right here. You can assign you could assign these support units directly to this division, okay? But it would be attached to that division wherever it goes, um, and there's no flexibility. So really, it's probably a better idea to attach it directly here, assign to the core headquarters, because the core headquarters can decide to use them with any of the divisions attached to it for any battle. So as long as they're in command range, it could use them for a battle that this division does, and then if this division gets in a scrap, then right after that, it could reassign all of the support units back to that for that battle, and it could do that limitless amounts of time in a turn. So I just like the flexibility of that. You can do it both ways. If you have an overabundance of support units, you do get the advantage of, if they're at the division level, they'll definitely be committed to battle. If they're at the core level, maybe, maybe not, but the Germans have really good generals, and so that whatever that dice roll is, whatever the algorithm is, they usually pass that. Um, it is very seldom as in a German in the German army. Now, the Romanians are different, right? But for the Germans, for them not to get support units, if all of the conditions are met, their generals almost always pass uh, their roles. So I guess that's how I look at it anyway. Speaking of generals, do we have anybody or any people, any generals that we need to replace? We have a lot of political points now. I say a lot. 34 is not a lot, but we got a lot more than we did last turn when we got down to 0. Schmidt is very good. So I'm looking at this 3rd Panzer. Schmidt is good. Von Nobelsdorf is very good. Who leads 3rd Panzer? Hoth. Well, okay, you can't really do better than that triumvirate. That's just fine. Now, what do we have in the 9th? Like I said, Roth is not bad. He's a 6 infantry. He's a good administrator, good at, above average initiative. We'll keep him right where he is. No reason to trade him out. Now, who do we have back here? I know we got some real dogs. Forster, at least for the Germans, Forster needs to go. He only costs 4 to replace. So let's go ahead and try to find a low cost general, or maybe a high cost general, because Rendelik is still here. Rendelik is an incredible infantry commander. You also have Weiss or Weiss, if we want to start getting into the German language and call him Weiss. He's an 8 as well. They both cost 21 points to bring in. Now, eventually, we need to do that because they're both really good. But just question this early if we want to do that. You have Hube out here who has really good ratings across the board. He's a 7 plus general. That's kind of how I look at it. If they're over a 7, they're really good. Um, so, for instance, Heinrike is over a 7. He's already with the 43rd Corps. No reason to get him out of there. Um, but Weiss, for an infantry commander, he's an 8 infantry, and I mean, he essentially passes every role, right? Same with Rendelik. Hube is very good, and you can see the German officer corps is just very good. So, but let's look for somebody that's cheap. Ernst Hell, we already put it. He's cheap. We already put him in somewhere. Ernst Highway to Hell. Uh, Naring is very good, but again, you're seeing here 21. The game knows that they're good as well, right? So any of these guys are pretty damn good. Stemmerman, Stemmerman, I got to get that R in there. He's pretty good. He's above average, and he's a 7 infantry. As a matter of fact, he's kind of exactly what we're looking for. We need to get rid of Forster. So let's go ahead and put Stemmerman in there. And as you see, Stemmerman's a 6.2 overall. So that's really nice. Okay, so he's got all of these units back here. Stemmerman has a lot of units. Hold on. Let's actually get on him while I'm laughing about it. There's Kirschner. There's Hell. And there's Stemmerman. Okay, so we're pretty good actually now for German generals in the Ninth Army. Let's get these guys moving up, and maybe these are the guys we'll use to clean this out, this little mess that we've got here, assuming they can get up here far enough. And they cannot. Okay, we're gonna have to use these guys, I guess. So we've got a guy here and a guy here. That's that one corps. I shouldn't call them one core, not technically one core. It is one core. All right, let's move him up there. Get these guys moving north. Who's got the 4 left? Let's move him a little bit further to the south there. And now the brand new appointed Stemmerman. We will move up this way. He needs to go one more, I think. There he goes. Everybody's in command. All right. While we're back here, let's just move the Ninth Army up just a little bit. We didn't have to do that, but we might as well. Let's go back here. Who does this guy come? Oh, Hell has only got 2 units. I would make some joke right now, but I don't want to. Okay. Let's keep moving. You just keep moving them as far east as you can. For the most part. Um, oh, this guy can get a nice long ways. Let's go ahead and put him there. Now then, let's move the headquarters up. I don't know. How about right there? Let's get these guys within command. Okay, they're both in command. Yeah, he'll just sit right there. That's fine. Okay, we haven't moved any of these guys underneath Heights. Heights is the other guy. This is really where I would like to put Rendelik, the 8th Corps. It's just too expensive right now. As we build up more and more points, we'll do that. All right, let's get these guys a little further north and a little further east. This is the 42nd Corps. You can see I like to have, that's why I like to have this on, where you can see the other units in the Corps. All right, we'll just move this guy like, up in this area. Is that going to be close enough to him? Nope, not quite. One more? Yep. Okay, everybody's in command. They're all in blue. I like that. And now we have one last headquarters here to move. And it is Heights' headquarters. Let's zoom in a little bit here. We're going to use these guys to clean up this little pocket here. Or not. That's Kirshner's guys. Okay, where's Heights' guy? Oh, this guy. Okay. Um, all right. He can still do a deliberate attack there. He can still do a deliberate attack there. You want to make sure you have 6 points left. That's the key number to do a deliberate attack. Move him there. Move him up here. We're going to give him some support units. So we'll assign. What do we want in these battles? Let's do a gun battalion, a Flammenpanzer. Let's get in there and just fry some people. How crazy is that? Some howitzers, some more howitzers, sure. K-39. I'm just, as you can see, I don't sit here and agonize over every support unit. It is what it is. You're going to be pretty close. Look at all the firepower that we're putting in here. We'll do two more of those just because we got a ton of them. Um, okay, I think that's all pretty good. Look at all. Now he can only commit up to six in any individual battle, and so you know, can we hit this guy with a hasty? I guess we can. Let's save that though in case we don't take him out for some reason. Four. How does he only have four left? I could have sworn. Okay, let's do a hasty on this guy really fast. Yeah, we went 1-to-1 odds. Jeez, we actually lost that battle. Err. Um, yeah, this is the guy I was thinking about. That's fine. Let's do a deliberate attack there because we can. 3,300 to 75. That should do all right. 45-to-1 odds. They should just surrender. My gosh. Okay. Let's hit him again. Well, he routed it at least this time. Now we're going to hit that hex with the deliberate attack again anyway. 3,042 to 3. That should work. They both routed. Down to here. Well, I mean, these guys are completely isolated. Ugh. Retreating Soviets, the bane of my existence. Um, what do I want to do here? I don't want to waste, any of Third Panzer's moves because I kind of know what exactly I want to do with them. We'll come back to that. I mean, they're isolated and will be taken out at some point here. I mean, they've got no supply. You see here in red, red, and orange. And so, it's just a matter of time. But let's take this is a very weak motorized unit here in the third. It's got an 8 combat value. And so this is a brigade, a motorized brigade. So I like to use them as scouts, just to kind of come up and see like right up next to it, what do you have? You know what I mean? So we're going to move him right up there for a moment. Not a lot. They don't have a lot going on here. I almost would like to scout across the river because I know we won't lose much, because it will just scout. I'm tempted to do that, but we're gonna deal with that next time, right? So I may do that tonight. I'm gonna do an Imperator Rome. I'm gonna do a Field of Glory Empires tonight. I may do another episode of War in the East because I'm totally into the game. I want to play it right now. And also because we've got to get the giddy up on as War in the East 2 comes out in just 1 month from today, actually, March 25th, I believe. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, as always. And this strategy